Hey guys, Clayton Divert here with Century 21 Creekside Realty, and today we are back in Abbotsford. We're on Peardonville at 32487 Peardonville Road. Now, this may just look like a typical Spanish influence house, but there's actually a lot to unpack here. It's a bit of a unicorn, so let's get right into it. So considering Peardonville is a fairly main street in Abbotsford, it's actually fairly quiet and it's surprisingly easy to access. There's a middle turning lane, there's also a bike lane on either side of the road, so it makes it really easy to turn around and get situated in the driveway. And then once you're in the driveway, I mean, there's tons of parking. There's room for 10 to 12 vehicles, depending on how big they are, between the driveway, the extra spot on the side, RV parking, boat parking, project car parking, whatever you want to call it, all the way down the length of the house. 2-car garage. So being on the north side of Peardonville, we actually fall into Abbotsford's official community plan for the city center plan in the Urban 3 designated zoning, which means you can have a house with a secondary suite. Also you can do duplexes and you can do carriage houses. Now this is a rather big lot. We're sitting on 70 feet of frontage on Peardonville and 228 feet all the way to the back. And it's a 16,000 square foot lot, so it's actually really big. So back in the day, the city of Abbotsford actually owned this lot, and this whole lot was designated for a water tower, which makes sense. It's on the top of a hill, best place to put a water tower, right? So the front yard is actually super private. There's tons of foliage and bushes and beautiful Japanese maple, rhododendrons, everything. And this is actually the pathway that goes down to the basement suite, but we're gonna talk about the basement suite a little bit later. So this whole house was drastically renovated in 2016. They put in maple hardwood floors. They obviously blasted out a few walls and opened everything up. Now the kitchen is actually pretty cool. So there's a few things that are different, most notably the glass tile backsplash, which is a super clean look. And then this is actually a Caesar stone countertop. Now, they also didn't cheap out on the renovations either. Like all the cabinets throughout the whole upper floor are good solid wood Merit cabinets that are all dovetailed together. Like these things are built to last. A wise man once told me that the path is in the math. So if you're looking at this house as an investment, the sellers are actually willing to part with pretty much all furniture you see here to have it set up as an Airbnb. And that would be including this whole coffee bar setup, which is a not cheap setup. The La Marzocco espresso machine straight from Italy is pristine and expensive. So for a basement suite, that actually gets a lot of natural sunlight. The window over there, because we actually are quite a bit above ground, being on the hillside. We have both bedrooms on opposite sides of the living room, got their own laundry, and actually even have their own alarm setup as well. So the bottom half of the house is split up between two sections. There's the basement suite, and then there's what I call the dungeon. Let's go take a peek at the dungeon. As you see, this isn't at all a dungeon. This could be so many different things. They got it set up as a workshop right now. You've got the wiring for basically whatever you could possibly need down here tool-wise. You could have set up a gym. You could have set up a storage room, cold storage room. You could have set up a band could set up some soundproofing in here and have like an awesome space. Or you could literally just do whatever you want with it. So this house runs on a boiler system that's natural gas heated. So that's how the whole house is heated actually. So water on demand, and then this whole concrete slab foundation, the dungeon and the basement suite has in-floor radiant heating. And then upstairs you have baseboards that have hot water running through them for radiant heating upstairs. So the house also has an alarm system that has a three-way setup. So you can have a separate independent alarm for the basement downstairs, the dungeon, the suite, and the upstairs. So if you were to use this space for a gym, what would be the absolute perfect complement to the gym? How about a shed? Just kidding, this is their own private sauna. You gotta check this thing out. I'm pretty sure this is like the nicest sauna you could possibly get without going to a professional sauna place or a rec center that has a sauna. I mean, this is all clear cedar. The outside lobby room there is all built with knotty cedar. And this is all custom built slate floors, industrial heater with, you can actually pour water on those rocks. It doesn't affect it. Natural light coming in, and this sucker gets hot. So once you get out to the deck, you can see all the mountains because we are perched up on top of a hill, like I said. And from the yard, you can actually see Baker. And did I mention there's a lot of concrete here? So more stamped concrete, we got concrete retaining walls, cinder block retaining walls, concrete all the way down the RV parking. And actually the roof is concrete tile as well, and there's a good chance it will never have to be replaced. So this backyard, it's flat up at the top and then it slopes down, a little wall of ivy plants down there. There's a little walking path along the fence. And there's actually a couple fruit trees down there as well. Now, the owners had some plans made. They brought an engineer or an architect from North Vancouver, and they had a whole plan set up here. So right now I would be sitting in the swimming pool. So basically what they were gonna do was they were gonna extend this deck out, stamp concrete everywhere, have a pool dropped in here, and there'd be a glass wall, having almost an infinity pool looking at the mountains that way, and then dropping down to the walking trail below, more stamped concrete around it, and just literally just setting up the most ideal, perfect backyard oasis that probably Central Abbotsford would have ever seen. So I would say the best way for you to see all the ins and outs of this property would be to come see it for yourself.